Thanks for having me here. It's an honor, and I hope that the next 20 minutes will be useful to you. So I wouldn't say that I like testing, but testing is it's a necessary part of our job. And why not make it a bit simpler? So I don't know if you ever tried to test a new feature in WordPress, but sometimes simple websites or stores become quite complex very quickly. So very often we need some WordPress settings, right? Then we have some WooCommerce settings if we have a store. So country, currency, taxes, payments, and stuff like that. Then let's say that our plugin, for example, is integrating with a third-party service. Then we need some credentials there. We need authentication. We have plugin-specific settings. Often there are multiple devices that we need to test on. And then you have the local and live environment. Some things don't work on the local environment, and we need the live environment. We have geolocation, where sometimes the site from Poland will look differently than from the States, and multiple browsers. And yeah, we end up in a confusing place, to say the least. And also, it can take forever to even start testing. So I just wanted to ask one question here before I go any further. How many people here are involved in developing a WordPress product, whether it's a plugin or a theme? Can you raise your hands? Awesome. I think it's the majority. So Red Bull Pit Stop is not the fastest one I discovered recently. As you can tell, I'm massively into Formula One if I didn't know that. But basically, I think McLaren is faster now. But this standard as for a couple of years as the record time for the pit stop, which basically within less than 2 seconds, they swap all of the tires and the other stuff there. So pretty impressive. So I don't know how for your products testing works, but yeah, it can get quite lengthy. So at Side, I work on our PayPal payments integration. And it's quite a big one. There's over 700,000 active merchants utilizing it to accept payments on their WooCommerce stores. It supports over 200 countries, 25 currencies or more. And within this one plugin, there is over 15 separate payment gateways. So when we roll out a new feature or even fix a minor bug, yeah, it's very important to us not to break something because the impact can be incredibly severe with this usage. Yeah, so there is actually a better way of testing than setting up everything manually, which is WordPress Playground. And I know that, I don't know, how many of you have you heard of WordPress Playground before? Can you raise hands? Okay, good amount also. So usually when you hear about WordPress Playgrounds, or I've seen some talks before, and it's usually, hey, there's this thing called WordPress Playground, and this is how it looks like, and you can have WordPress in your browser, and that's usually it. And cool, but like, what do I use it for? So testing is actually one of the really cool things that we can use it for. And for those not familiar with WordPress Playground, it's basically a browser-based, serverless WordPress site that runs directly in your browser. You don't need any installation, and it's literally one link. And this is the official page. You click a link, and within seconds, it installs a WordPress in your browser. And this is an actual WordPress site with content. You can go and edit, you can install plugins, and do other cool things. So WordPress Playground has been around for a while, and it's useful. And how do we use it at PayPal? So this is also quite a recent development. I mean, development for us, because this has been around for, I think, over a year now. I've seen different repos using it. So quickly, some bright minds noticed the opportunity here, which is basically creating those instant test environments for PR previews. And I think this is already working in the WooCommerce repo, I think in the Gutenberg repo too. So, and there is an official issue for it. which Adam obviously started. And it's pretty cool. If you go there, there's a long thread, and there's already an official action in the WordPress repo for a workflow to create those previews for themes. It's not available for plugins yet, but you can still make it work because WooCommerce is a plugin and they use it. So I modeled our workflow on theirs, and right now it's quite bare bones. It's already there, but it's simple. It grabs the PR, generates a zip of the plugin, and then it installs WooCommerce and that generated PayPal payments plugin, and it opens the site for you. So there is a comment that's posted by a bot, and then it invites you to test the PR change by clicking on a link. And when you click the link, then it spins up the WordPress site. And there's a bit of a tricky part here, just because when you build your zip, it gets attached as an artifact, and artifacts can only be accessed via the action context. And yeah, it's basically kind of hard to get it and hand over to the WooCommerce playground to spin up. So you have to do this trick with the proxy, and there's an official one called plugin proxy. However, it recently got restricted to trusted organizations, which is WordPress, WooCommerce, and Automatic. And I mean, PayPal payments as a plugin is under WooCommerce organization, so we benefit and we can just use this proxy straight away. If you're not part of a trusted organization, what you can do, you can utilize githubproxy.com, but this only works with GitHub releases, so it's a bit of a hack, but it works. Or if you're like super into hacking stuff, you can try to host your own proxy, but why would you do that? But I've seen a message somewhere from, I think, Adam, and I also had a chat from someone from the Playground team recently, and they said that if you want to use this proxy, you can just open a PR and just request that they add you to the trusted organizations list, and then you don't have to do all of that juggling. You can just basically utilize this proxy and have it working. So definitely encourage you to pursue that route because it's the easiest. And yeah, what are the benefits? So the benefits are pretty clear. There's no setup. You don't need a hosting environment. And it's fresh, clean, disposable every time. So you don't end up with multiple stale testing sites. It's obviously quick and efficient, and almost everything works. And it's a WordPress inside of a browser, so there are memory limitations. Certain and more advanced things don't work because of certain limitations. Webhooks, for example, don't work. So it's kind of important for a payments plugin, but you can still test the majority of functionality with it. And that's just part of it. And since June and WooCommerce 9.9, we have something called WooCommerce Blueprints. And that really is a game changer for complex plugins like PayPal payments, because there's so much config involved on the WooCommerce level and the plugin level itself. And if you go to your WooCommerce store and you go to the Advanced tab, you can notice that there is a new item there. It's called Blueprints Beta. I'm not sure how readable it is. But basically, this allows you to select what kind of data you want to export from your WooCommerce site, and then you can just go ahead and import it. And the cool part is that it's extendable. So you can hook into WooBlueprint exporters and WooBlueprint imports, and you can actually do something like this. So in case of PayPal, we have a bunch of different custom options that we have, because by default, Blueprints do support like the super basic payment gateway settings, but anything custom needs to be integrated. So we have a bunch of settings that I was able to add support for with those hooks, and then running this in using the CLI command gets me the PayPal settings into my blueprint. There is one caveat, which is also in the documentation, where this custom settings support only works when you export via via PHP or via the CLI command. It doesn't work if you want to export it from the interface. So this is one of the limitations. And after the blueprints were rolled out, then suddenly this actually became not only great, but it became awesome because it speeds up stuff so much more. So we have one-click test-ready environment. We can import or generate test content, which is also part of what you can do with WordPress Playground. And then now we can have all of the Woo settings and our settings imported. So I have a short demo here. This is the working one, so it doesn't include the... it actually, I think, includes how it works with the blueprints too. So let's try to play it. So depending on how many steps you add to the WordPress Playground config, it obviously will take longer or shorter to run. And if you're on slow internet, it also tends to take a bit more time. But usually just literally a couple of seconds. This is real time. So now I attached here the WooCommerce blueprint JSON, and I'm importing it. That was pretty quick. And then I go to the payments tab, and we have PayPal installed. You go there, and you have a merchant connected, and you can go and test and set stuff up, which is pretty cool, I think. And this is the fastest time now, which is the McLaren pit stop, just 2 milliseconds faster. But I was trying to get it working, and I actually managed to get it working yesterday, so perfectly on time. Because I was thinking like, okay, I mean, if this is all JSON, why can't I just import the WooCommerce blueprints as a part of my WordPress Playground config? And actually you can, and it's quite simple. You just grab the JSON, save it, and then you run this CLI command to import it. And then one thing that threw me off for a while is that you need to include the user to be an admin there, because otherwise it just tells you that you don't have the privileges to import content. So once you add that, then it works. So I called it the McLaren flow, which is you generate zip with your PR changes, install WooCommerce, and the generated PR change zip, so PayPal payments in this context. And then you get, you can import or generate demo content. There's this really awesome plugin that I wasn't aware before about. It's called, I think, WooCommerce Smooth Generator, like smooth operator, just smooth generator, it's a pun. But you can actually quite easily, and also with the CLI, you can generate a bunch of really cool sample products with different variations. They look really nice, and potentially it's even easier than just importing the content yourself. Just run a command and grab a bunch of products. And then at the end, you import a dedicated WooCommerce or PayPal config. So this is the McLaren part, because with our workflows, the PRs are quite often config dependent. And in this way, this is still something that I need to code up. But basically, I can have a script that will go through the PR comments. It's going to find the blueprint file that I attached as a comment. And then when spinning up the Playground site, it will use this config for the WooCommerce blueprint. And then I can essentially have automatic testing environment pre-configured with everything I need. And who wins with this? I think everyone. So like for me, I think the cool thing is that like when you have this in place, it lowers the effort, the barrier to test. So instead of just being like, oh, QA will take care of this, I'll be like, I don't really want to, but since it's just a click, I'm going to go and do another test, make sure my change works. So that's awesome. And then for QA, obviously this is massive for them because they don't need to take care of the complicated QA setup. And then PMs, POs, stakeholders, there was this quite cool use case where we consult a lot of changes with clients. So instead of setting up a dedicated testing environment for them so they can see a change, we can just send them a disposable link and they can just test it right there in the browser. So that's WordPress Playground and WooCommerce Blueprints, and I'm Danny Dujic. And if you have any questions, if you would like to see some code, please come say hi. I'm happy to share whatever I have and help you set up this for yourself. So thank you.